Hello, welcome to QBA 2302. My name is Dr. Eide, and I'm just going to go over just a brief overview of what to expect in this course, go over the syllabus and just a little bit other information to get you started with Canvas, so on and so forth. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into a PowerPoint. I'm going to share my screen. And we've got this PowerPoint right here. Moving forward, who am I? Like I said, my name is Dr. Eide. I graduated from a little college called Southwestern Assemblies of God University, where with a degree in children's ministry. And then I also got a degree in master's in elementary education because I wanted to learn how to teach children about God. And so I spent about 10 years as a children's pastor. All the while, I was also getting a PhD at the University of North Texas, specifically focused on, well, in the area of educational psychology. And you might be wondering, why is an individual who has a PhD in educational psychology teaching our business statistics course? And the answer to that is because a PhD in educational psychology is essentially a degree in applied statistics. So that's why you guys get to hang out with me this semester, is because I have a PhD in applied statistics. So this is my family. That's my wife, April, my daughter, Lizzie, Joey, Sammy, and then me. And my wife is a first grade teacher. And then my daughter, Lizzie, is 2, or almost 3. Joey is almost 5, and Sammy is turning 8 in just a couple weeks. So yeah, I've got a background in nonprofit business, ministry, children's ministry, church ministry, spiritual development, human development, and family science, human learning. I get really passionate about taking what it is that I've learned in the area of educational psychology and being able to help you all in business statistics. So that way you actually learn the material and you don't just get a grade. I want you to be able to go on from this class saying, hey, you know what? I actually know something about business statistics. So by the end of this course, this is getting into the syllabus. So if you have the syllabus, it says, hey, this is everything that you're going to be able to do. And so I am very intentional to make sure that you actually have the capacity to be able to do all these things by the conclusion of the semester. This semester, you're going to have to bear with me a little bit. And the reason why is because I've got a brand new textbook, which some of y'all are like, why would you do a brand new textbook in the middle of the year? The reason why, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, a lot of my students said that they didn't actually use the previous textbook. There were some people who loved it because they're like, hey, it explains things really well, which it does. My previous textbook that I was using, it explained things really well. This textbook explains things pretty well too. It also has practice problems. My old textbook did not have practice problems. And also this textbook is free. Did I say free? Yes, I said free. It is free. And so you can get an online version of it for free. It's through OpenStax. You can also get a physical copy, because I actually have a physical copy. So I've got my physical copy right here. And because these are free textbooks, except for the physical copies, I actually had to pay for my physical copies. And so, yeah, that's what we're going to be using. Hopefully it'll be beneficial for you this semester. So going through your syllabus, looking at, you know, how everything is laid out, I'm going to show you first. Here we go. This is essentially how the semester is laid out. So if you want to know how to calculate your final grade, you can build yourself a calculator. Who knows? I might even build you a calculator, because for some odd reason, people get all freaked out about their grades. They're like, oh, what's my final grade going to be? And the reason why is because Canvas does not let me set things up the way that I want it set up. But this is the way that I have it set up. So that way everything adds up to 1,000 points. Or 100%, which I just realized. Where is? This is supposed to be like that. Oops. And so now we've got our 100% back. So 1,000 points or 100%. And so this is how I have your grade set up. And so going back up to here, what all goes into that? First, you have a total of about 28 quizzes, but of those 28 quizzes, I only count the top 20. So if you bomb 8 quizzes and you do really well on 20 of them, those 8 quizzes aren't going to impact your grade. Or if you are really sick one day and you're not able to take one of the quizzes, no big deal, because I drop 8 of them. And I do that to, number one, be really consistent. So that way, when people are like, hey, I'm sick and I can't take my quiz, and I'm like, you know what, I appreciate you letting me know. That's why I drop 8 quizzes. I'm not going to go in there constantly, let people open up quizzes, close quizzes, so on and so forth. But that eight buffer is there to really make it so that no matter what happens this semester, it's just kind of like a safety blanket for everyone. No matter what happens, there's 8 quizzes that you can drop, and you don't have to constantly come to me asking, oh, I have a extenuating circumstance, can you please work with me on this quiz? Now, exams are a little bit different. I'm willing to work with you a little bit if you have extenuating circumstances on exams, but quizzes are something that, hey, if you've got an issue, it just counted as one of your drops, and then we'll go from there. They are open book, open note. You can do it however they want. They're on Canvas. You cannot talk to other people. That's the one big thing. And please don't cheat. I catch people every semester cheating, and it's my least favorite part of my job. So don't cheat. They have to be done individually. There was one semester, no lie, I am 100% being honest with you, I caught 50 people cheating in one semester. Don't do it. It's absolutely horrible, and it's a pain. So going to the exams, there are a total of 4 exams, and the exams will be over Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3, and Unit 4. Exams will be due on a Tuesday and will be taken on Canvas. They're going to be open book, open note, similar to the quizzes. Big differences is for the exams, you have to record yourself because we're not actually taking them in class. I'm also going to ask that you turn off your cell phone. So when you have your cell phone, I don't even know where my cell phone is, but you would hold it up to the camera and you'd be like, hey, look, my cell phone is off. And then exams must be completed individually and recorded via Zoom. And there's all sorts of instructions that show you exactly how to do that, so that way you don't mess it up. And then they'll open up at 8 a.m. on Monday, and then we'll have like a review on Monday for the exam, and then they'll close 11:59 p.m. on Tuesday. So you essentially have a 2-day window to complete that exam. Next, the group exam. Every single week or every single unit except for Unit 4, we will have a group exam. This is a time for you guys to get together in your groups, work together and say, hey, you know what did you guys get? What did you get? And you'll do that in the last 25 minutes of class on Wednesday. Then you guys can turn in one collective group exam. You don't turn in more than one. You can all open it up, but only one person submits it. Okay. And then group participation. Every single week, I'm actually giving you time built into your week to interact with your group, to work on group projects, to work on homework, to just work with one another, to really help each other to get through this class. I found that if groups work really well together, you answer one another's questions, it works out really well. And then this group participation, you just show up, you say, hey, I did this much work, so on and so forth. And it's essentially just a free 40 points as long as you just show up and you do what you're supposed to. Also, with this group participation, you have to meet with me as a part of your group a total of 2 times throughout the semester. And those, you have to show up to those. And those are there for me to help you to really answer any questions and work with you guys as a group. Activities, we've got the syllabus quiz, grouping survey. This is worth a total of 20 points, install data analysis tool pack, complete post QBA survey, possibly 1 or 2 other assignments if I determine, but this will be worth a total of 20 points. And so just keep up with those. These are really just free points. And so yeah, just be aware of that. Participation in a study. There's this study that I started literally the week that the university shut down due to COVID. I started asking students about their experiences, and I keep on hoping every single semester that it's going to be the last semester that I collect data on students' experiences, but inevitably COVID doesn't seem to be going away and students still keep on getting affected. And so I'm actually in the middle of publishing a few papers on this right now, and being in contact with the university, being in contact with different entities about what is it that we can do better as a university with supporting families, with supporting students, with adapting our teaching. what is it that we can be doing to be able to meet the needs of our students in the midst of this crisis. Last year, once again, I wasn't expecting to keep on collecting this data, but like last spring, I kept collecting the data, and all of a sudden we had that winter storm. Two of the papers that I'm writing right now are specifically on how universities respond to a crisis on top of an already existing crisis, and how we can understand how to, look at the micro acute crisis in relation to the macro chronic crisis, and be able to meet the needs of the students and communicate succinctly and effectively. And I was able to write a lot of that based on the responses that I'm getting from students. And when you guys share these with your friends, with other individuals, it helps me to do a better job with writing up about students' experiences. So I'd encourage you, please do this. It is worth 10 points. Or 1% of your grade. Or if you don't want to do this, there is an alternative assignment as well about writing an essay on ethics in business analytics. So, so Unit 3 Excel workbook. These are for the project. This is something that you do as a group. Everything that you do as a group is really set up to get you an A. And so it's like a free, I'm not going to say it's a free 130 points, but I would say that on average, people earned probably about 115, 120 out of 130 last year by doing the Excel workbooks. And this is for Unit 3 and Unit 4 projects. And so everything is built into your weekly work, but then you also have a final presentation, so on and so forth. And we'll get into that a little bit later. And then your grading, like I said, that's your grading right there. And as far as your grading, I adhere to the way that the university has their grading scheme. So I have 93 up to 100, 90 up to 92.99. I had, somebody last semester, and they're like, hey, you didn't have, the ... 99. So I just assumed that if I got an 82.75 that you were going to round it up. I'll be honest, last semester I did not round up grades. Probably one of the first semesters that I didn't round up grades, so don't ever assume that I'm going to round up grades. One of the big reasons why I did not round up grades at all is because the grades were already really high, and I had more A's last semester than I had any other semester. I think I had about 65 to 70% of students had some kind of A. And so I was like, if I already have that many A's, I can't really justify rounding even more people up to A's. And so it was definitely a lot higher than what I expected. So just be aware, these are the thresholds. Anything beyond this would have to be a unique circumstance. But this is the way it is. So as far as class policies, please be on time. Do not be tardy. And when you walk in late, because people walk in late inevitably all the time, and statistics is one of those things that you really got to be here to know what's going on. And I have so many students, when they walk in late and then they ask the same questions that I answered literally 2 minutes before they walked in. And it's really frustrating to everyone, because they're like, why couldn't you have just shown up on time? Because I have to wait and spend that extra time explaining things to people who show up late. Also, once again, academic honesty, that's a really big thing to me. It is the only reason why I've given people F's in my class. Well, besides some people have earned them, but I have literally failed multiple students for cheating in my class, and it's not fun, but it's also really important, because your grade actually means something. For those people who work really hard, I want that grade to mean something, and I really don't take too kindly to people taking shortcuts. So class schedule, quizzes are due every Wednesday and Sunday. Classes are on Mondays and Fridays. Oh yeah, this is a big deal. I will show you, let me show you the syllabus really quick. Okay, so this is the syllabus. Coming right here, it's really hard to see. Let's see here if I can Control C, file, new, and let's do file, page setup. And let's turn this so that way you guys can see it. Okay, so we have this wonderful calendar for you that I worked really hard on. The blue is Unit 1, green is Unit 2, This salmon color is unit 3, and then yellow is unit 4. And the way that I have it set up is, here is what you have in class on Monday. Here is what you have in class on Wednesday. Here is what you have in class on Friday. Now, this is subject to change. There are extenuating circumstances, but like, for instance, in class this Wednesday, we're going over descriptive statistics. Class on Friday, we're going over sampling and experimental design. And then for next week, we are going over graphic presentation of, hold on. Yeah, graphic presentation of data, and then we're going over graphic presentation again. And then we're going over on the next week, we're going over measures of dispersion and the empirical role. And so we're just going through all of this. And what you need to also see is anytime that you see group work, so let's take a look at this, and let's highlight every time that we see group work. Group work, you are meeting with your group. So there are a total of there are a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times that I allow you to work with your group on your own. And so you actually have those class periods dedicated to being able to interact with your group and get stuff done. Now, you still have group work that's due every single week, okay? But it is set up so that way you do have 9 times designated to doing those that group work during an actual class time, and those are always on Wednesday. The times when you don't have that is exam weeks. So you'll notice that these are all exam weeks. And this right here, we have, this is also, I guess, technically an exam week. So anytime that you have an exam week, we don't have, I don't give you designated group work time. And so what this allows you to do is work with one another, answer each other's questions, and really have more of like a community aspect to learning. And so just be aware of that. And then you have 2 quizzes due a week. You have one quiz that's normally due on Wednesday, then another one that's due on Sunday. Once again, the exception to that is exam weeks. On exam weeks, or the first week of class, I have both your quizzes due on Sunday. And so you'll see this is an exam week. Both your quizzes are due on that Sunday. And then with spring break, I have your quizzes due at the end of spring break. And so you'll notice, oh, spring break, it's due at the end of spring break. And so just be aware that this calendar is here. It's set up for you to know exactly what you're doing. And you should be able to follow this along for pretty much the entire semester. Okay. Other than that, let's see if I can go back to the PowerPoint. Oops. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the PowerPoint. I'm going to end this lecture here, and I'm going to do the next lecture going over Canvas.